It is episode number 20 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of Jomboy Media. We have circled back to the beginning with Mets reliever Trevor May, who is joining us from some hotel room in St. Louis after arriving at the wee hours of the morning after a little Sunday night baseball. Let me see those eyes. You okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Don't let my general look of dishevelment and fatigue fool you. I am ready to go.
I was always curious, when you play on the road Sunday night baseball and then you're traveling halfway across the country, what time do you get in?
What do we get? I was probably asleep by 4:15.
Oh,
so we got in at probably 3:30. And I have my weighted blanket in my check bag, so I have to wait for them to bring it up. So yeah, today was sketchy, but to be honest, when I was asleep, I slept really, really soundly. So that's good.
Okay, good. So you travel with a weighted blanket. We got my 20-year-old a weighted blanket for the holiday season. We were like, because he's a shitty sleeper. I was like, I think this might help.
I take sleep very, very seriously. And I traveled with a weighted blanket, my own pillow. I bring my air conditioned mattress pad if I could. I'm up to 2 carry-ons or 2 like rollerboards just for all this stuff. So I'm not going to add a huge Pelican case like the trainers have to carry all my stuff I'm not there yet. Nelly Cruz is one of those, but I'm not there yet.
Oh man, boy, do we have a lot to get to.
Yes,
so
do.
No guests today, but boy, this is going to be a fun-filled hour. So let's start with the dramatics last night. You have a nice 8-4 lead. You came in, you got the one hitter you faced, turned it over to Edwin Diaz. We thought everything was going to be just fine. Obviously, he was not healthy. Rhys Hoskin, we thought, hit a game-tying home run from where you were sitting. Were you like, oh, shit, really?
Yes. We were like, that is not ideal. But fortunately, they have that dumb railing that they made the top of the wall. I don't know what happens when a ball squeaks through like one of the gaps between the railings or something.
What do you think? It's like Michael Strahan's teeth? Like, I don't think there's a full gap there where the baseball can get through.
There's got to be some, like, you know what I mean? Like the segments, like a gap. I know baseball. We've seen crazy stuff. I know baseball can squeak through. It's going to happen someday, probably. Mm-hmm. But it was hit so perfectly, like on the corner there. It's pretty clear that it was off. Thank God it was off the top of the wall. But and I believe that would have been Rhys's 100th homer.
Yes. So, in fact, they put it out. Dude, they put it out on social media. The Phillies did. Congratulations, Rhys Hoskins, on your 100 homer. And then they had quote tweeted and they said, oops, they have reversed the call.
One of the best tweets. I don't know why it got me laughing so hard, but one of the best tweets I saw was from I forgot what the NBC local news channel or channel that does their games. And are you kidding me, Rhys Hoskins? And then the first comment was, narrator, he was indeed kidding you. And I read it like in the Gold Rush voice, and it was pretty funny.
Oh God! So when you're sitting in the dugout and they reverse the call, are you guys just looking at each other like, whew, or are you like, yes? What's the reaction?
We're like, all right, well, let's get you got a guy who's in the running for the MVP coming up next, so you still got to get that last out. And Fama came in and made some really good pitches.
Sure did.
And got the job done. So, but yeah, you got to breathe. You got to take the boons where you can get them. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got just a tiny bit of luck to eke it out, and a win is a win.
Okay, but boy, what a weird seris this was.
What a weird series.
It was super entertaining. What did you make of the José Alvarado thing from a distance?
Well, frankly, to be honest, so it was based on a prior kind of chirping at him from hitting a guy. And that happens. It's scary getting up there. And to be honest, it's kind of par for the course. Guys chirping at you. Like I get every once in a while, I've been known to sail one to the backstop every once in a while too. And sometimes it's close to a guy and I get chirped at and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of, my bad. Like I'm not trying to hit anybody in the head. Right. But when that happened, I didn't know. Like I didn't act because we're way out there, especially in Citi Field. Like our bull, we can't see anything. Like we have no idea what's happening. It's like being in a garage. So we don't have a TV either. So like I didn't know. And then so we're like, man, he's something happened before. It had to have. This isn't out of nowhere. So we were just asking each other. I was like, oh well. And then Dom's like, yeah, I chirped. I didn't know that he was like mad at me. I thought he was just like kind of like shut up, old whole dugout, because everyone kind of just like said something, and so there was a little bit of confusion at the beginning. I didn't know exactly what it was about. So, but that's happened to me a lot in my career. I'm always way out in center field or something, and it's like, what happened? Who are we mad? Why are we mad at? Who are we mad at? What are we supposed to do here?
Are you pissed off that you have to go run like
yes
300? Yeah,
it's the worst. Last year I loved it because we actually had to run out there 4 or 5 times. That was Tyler Clippard, and he was always just like, you know how long I have to get ready to run? So we just like, we look at each other like, let's go. Like it's so I got a little bit of that saltiness from him, but yeah, you gotta get that out there, especially in Philly. Like we're all running under the same stairwell, and it's funny especially when both bullpens don't know exactly what happens. You're like, should we just do it here? Should we just rock paper scissors and say, guys, we got it? Like, don't worry, we'll handle it. Just best rock paper scissors, guys, and then we'll just shut it down.
Oh God!
But evidently, some guys knew at that time, but I didn't.
Well, you used to be a starter. Did you ever get charged in the minor leagues? Did somebody come after you ever?
No one charges me. I actually recently had some guys on the team. They were just talking about like, who on our team would you be like most hesitant? And they pretty much threw me in the top 2 or 3 every single time. Like, I wouldn't charge May. He's gigantic. I was like, I am pretty freaking big, and I do look like I'm angry all the time when I'm pitching. So I could see how that. But I'm a big softy. I would, I would never instigate anything. I'm just so passive. There's no way. But I've seen red a few times in my life. But no, I've never been charged. I've been jawed at a couple times to where some guys had to come out of a dugout probably in my career, but nothing too crazy.
So what happens like when that happens with Alvarado and Dom Smith? Take us, if you're the pitcher, somebody yells, fuck you. Like, what happens? I mean,
you got to make a show of it. There's a big thing. Like, you can't just like take things like that's this is an exception I take with a lot of people who are anti unwritten rules. First of all, there's not like 3 unwritten rules. There's like 1,000, and a lot of them are built on just like, do we do this? No, logically doesn't make sense. Like, for people who aren't around baseball, they don't really get it, but it's always respect based, built around like, we're all playing the same game. This game's hard. Mm-hmm. And so there's lines that can be crossed, and then how you handle that thing has changed over time. Like, that's just the general idea. And so, but when it comes to that stuff, like as a competitive, it's like if you played basketball or football's like they're jawing at each other all day. But like if you get lit up or your teammate gets lit up and then you just let that guy say and do whatever he wants, that's not competitive. Like that's giving them a momentum advantage in our heads. And so the respect that your opponent that your opponent can beat you in any given time is important, that they know that. And that's kind of where it comes from. I think that's the baseline. And so when things start to get disrespectful, like, they're celebrating, and then I always say it like this way: if you're celebrating and you're celebrating with yourself and your team, and nothing is like pointed directly at you and me personally have a problem, then it's all fair game. You can cartwheel around the bases as long as you're not pointing at me and yelling F you. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not just like that's the whole thing. Remember Joey Bats's bat flip? That whole thing was a huge controversy. He didn't direct it at the pitcher at all.
Nope.
He was just like, that's the biggest home run I've ever hit in my career.
Right.
Like, let's go.
By the way, one of the biggest in the country's history.
Yeah, exactly. And it's iconic. And I have zero problem with it. And now we're looking at there's like pointing, like if there's pointing and stuff, now you have an issue with pitchers like, bro, I just gave up a homer. That's like, you beat me. Like you won. You don't need to then take it to where now it's I wanted to beat you for personal reasons. That's when it gets a line gets crossed. I think that, and people just like don't want to hear that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just logical. It's just, of course, you don't need to like grind a person to the dirt. You can just say, I beat you at the game we're both paid to play.
No piling on. I get it. I get it. So Dom Smith was asked about it after the game, and I have to admit, I am a huge Dom Smith fan.
Same.
I have loved him ever since I first interviewed him. I think he's such a good dude, and he said it perfectly here.
I mean, him pointing at me, coming after me and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. Come meet me then if you really got a problem, and we could really handle it. So that's how I look at that issue. He waited for his team to grab him and stuff, but I'm right there, and he could meet me in the tunnel tomorrow if he really want to get after it.
I mean, yeah, Dom's pretty laid back. I don't know if you could tell. He's chilling. And to be honest, and he told me, he was like, dude, I was a little surprised. Like I was like, is he yelling at me? Like, and then he's like, oh, I chirped like 2 weeks ago, I guess. So, it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking it's like a Michael Jordan situation. Remember the freaking The Last Dance came out and everyone's like, oh, Mike used to just like hold grudges and no one knew about him but him. Sometimes competitors do that stuff to get a little bit extra. And it might have been a little bit of one of those situations. He felt slighted and he held on to it until he pitched against us again. And we kind of like didn't hold on to it as much. And so then it became a thing. And that's a lot of times what happens is like a little bit of frustration guys have for maybe other stuff that's happening going on in the field. And then they find a way to like get themselves out of it. It's like a very, very common thing in sport. So, but yeah, with Dom just saying, hey, like, there's other ways we could have just kept this between us and not had to worry about the whole on the field thing. He stayed out there and he walked a couple steps towards him and said some words because, like, again, you don't just walk back to the dugout and like, okay, yeah, okay. Like that does nothing for your team, especially with how the game was going and we needed a little fire. He knew, and everyone else knew. And so you have like an obligation to go get a fine or whatever it takes, but you can't go into the dugout.
All right, so
you can't.
Is this over? Or I mean, you guys are
I highly doubt it. We're the Mets and the Phillies, man. Is anything ever over? I mean, I'm sure we still have some grudge from the 80s that we don't know about, but we're supposed to continue. So over is relative.
Well said.
I'm not holding my breath. But we're gonna it's gonna be like a playoff game every time we play them. So
yeah. Well, I would suggest this.
I'll tell you that much.
I would suggest this. Bring your weighted blanket the next time you guys meet. That thing is a weapon.
Yeah. Want to smother somebody? I got you.
And by the way, shameless company plug. Meet me in the tunnel. Available on jomboymedia.com.
I love that.
I just want to let you know. Why do you want? You want one?
Of course, I want one. I want every single shirt ever made, and baseball is number one for making shirts.
Yes.
For catchphrases. We get a shirt every 3 days. Pete Alonso is just like constant. Hey, what's our next shirt? He gets one every series. We get a new one on our chair. So I'm sure Donnie's about to get on a chair, but I'm sure we're going to get into that later.
No, we're going to get into it right now about Donnie Stevenson. So, your offense has sucked the first month, and this isn't me being mean. This is what the guys who are trying to hit the ball for a living are saying. They're like, we haven't done our job. We would be significantly better than a 500 club if we did our job. So Donnie Stevenson has made an appearance. Michael Conforto, help us out here.
Donnie's a new guy. He made an appearance today at our hitters meeting, and he's all about the approach. He's a hitting approach guy. He's a he's a guy that just gets the boys fired up and ready to go. So yeah, there's a new guy.
Love it. I don't think he was expecting that question.
Where is Donnie staying on your floor or no?
Yeah, I'm wherever the suites are, I'm sure. Yeah, Donnie's an integral part of this team. So you might see appearances. I don't know. We might be able to coax him to get out in front of a camera at some point, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how he's feeling. He's bursts of energy type guy, quiet, goes about his business, and then bam, is in your face. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Alonso seems to have taken to him the most so far. Is it fair to say that Pete and Donnie have become fast friends?
Very quickly. There was no one more hyped up by Donnie than Pete that day. So and to be honest, Pete's not tough to fire up, man. He gets he's just looking for someone to give him like a little bit of energy to feed off. And then he'll just like amplify it straight into the crowd and straight into the field and straight into his teammates' faces. So, yeah, that was a great combination of him and Donnie together.
Good. I can't wait to see the t-shirts. They're going to be epic.
They are going to be epic.
I want to throw this out there. If Donnie wants to make his first public appearance on the Chris Rose rotation, just tell him there's an open chair for him.
Okay. All right. I will. I'll let him know. It's really confusing because my cat's name is Donnie. So saying Donnie this many times, I get very, very confused.
Forgot that your cat's name is Donnie. Holy smokes. All right. The other side of the spectrum, unfortunately, is we're all laughing and chuckling about Donnie and his appearance is what's going on with Francisco Lindor, who got booed at home. He admitted that this was the first time in his big league career it happened. It never happened in Cleveland. Not because Indians fans are better than Mets fans, but just because he came up through the organization. He's the guy that helped us get to Game 7 of the World Series. He was Mr. Smile. He is everything you want in a professional athlete and then some. And now he gets traded to New York where there's no equity built up with the fan base. Now, before he's ever played a game, he gets $341 million, and he stinks right now. He says that. He stinks. Can you see a frustration building in him?
I don't think he's so process oriented. That's one thing that like didn't surprise me one bit when I finally got to talk to him a little bit, because I'm so process oriented. But like we hit it off immediately, just like talking about all the things that we got to work on a day-to-day basis, and like all the resources we had when we first came over in spring training, and like what we would like to see and what we're missing, what we had and where we were. And because we were coming from a couple organizations that were very, very in tune with like player health and rest and recovery and all kind of stuff. So no, he doesn't show frustration, and he could have. He's had a lot of opportunities. He would tell you himself to get a little bit frustrated, but he's really trying to focus on the guys who are stepping up and getting the job done every day. And he knows that his time's going to be like he's going to be the guy that's in that chair a lot moving forward. But like you said, he's just trying to build up some goodwill with his teammates and win some games, because he knows that winning will always, the rising tide raises all ships, man. He knows he's going to get going. And I've seen him have some slow months, and the scouting report was distinctly different from when he was going good and when he was struggling a little bit. And so, he's just searching. You can tell he's trying to, when he's hitting, he's trying to really take advantage of those mistakes he sees and hits them harder. The problem is he's just not getting the barrel to it yet. But
no, he's not.
But I know that just by listening to him, I know that he's happy with the progress he's making on the decisions he's making on the swing. Good. It's just physically executing now. So I think he's close to breaking out. But again, he's been phenomenal defensively. He's a great leader, and he's focused on winning. So,
well, I'll tell you this. I don't care. Listen, I told you at the beginning that he is my favorite Indian of all time, and so I will continue to support him. In part, I know it's a great ad. It certainly helps that he's in the other league, right? If he had stayed in the American League, it'd be a little tougher pill to swallow for me personally, but it's not. So I am desperately rooting for him to turn this around. I am also curious. Stroman has faced him 20 times. You've faced him 17. That's the two most on the Mets roster. You just mentioned that the scouting report was different when he was going great as opposed to when he was sliding a little bit. Is there any assistance you could offer him?
I mean, I think it's things he already knows, but basically what happens is where he does, like where he hits, where the pitches are located when he's doing damage would change a little bit. So you could tell he was looking to adjust to the way he's being pitched, but basically like things that were like that lefties just in general got pitches down in the zone where you can get the barrel to it and maybe go right center or center with it or pull something hard. Is like all everybody. It's Jack McNeil. It's like all of our lefties, Michael Conforto, all of them have kind of like that. Like that's the natural swing path to those guys, so that they can catch a ball out, breaking balls that don't quite get down to the back foot, that stuff like that. And he was one of those guys too. Maybe not way down, but like middle, kind of moving down. He was really strong, and then it kind of moved to up and away because that's where we were staying up and away, and he was starting to shoot that opposite way, but he was doing less damage. So we were like, okay, he's hitting that now, but he's not hitting homers there. So let's keep doing it. And then as soon as he started just like fouling that off all day until you moved back in, kind of like Miggy Cabrera does that. He picks a pitch that he doesn't want to get beat on. He knows he can't hit hard and just fouls it off. So you try to do something else and he gets that one he wants and crushes it. Frankie gets there. And the thing is, it's just that foul off situation to get the juice pitch. He's just not getting to the juice pitch as well. And Nimmo and I talked about it recently because he's the same. He was lights out. He's crushing the ball in the beginning. He goes, I'm seeing the mistake. I'm making the right decision on which pitch to swing at. I'm just not executing it. And I think Frankie's just had kind of a little bit of a weird, we played 20 games in 30 days, like weird, like no continuity. He's very process oriented. So I think that now that our off days are kind of more structured, great weather in the future, I think that it's he's a couple like 2 for 4s, 3 for 4s away. And then it's just like Conforto did. Yep. Conforto was broken out in a big way. And he had, I believe, 4 hits last night. So, it's just a matter of time. And when they're all going, it's one of the scariest lineups I've ever seen.
In the meantime, there's no stopping Jacob deGrom. What is it like for you on a day where he takes the baseball?
I love telling him the bullpen's closed. That's one of my favorite things in the whole planet. I say this all the time, and I love pitching. I love pitching in big spots, but any day I don't pitch is a day that hopefully is good for us. And when hit with him, it's so weird. It's weird having a baseball, an already baseball legend on your team, in a way that like when he's going good and everyone else is going good, the difference is just like, it's so much that it's almost daunting to even think about trying to live up to like playing at that level because he's so impressive.
What makes him so good?
He's just a freak. He's 6'4", 180 pounds. He's like a human rubber band, and the ball absolutely explodes. Like he is all those guys that were like, oh, that's 100. He's that as a starter. Every single pitch, every reliever that we're like, man, this guy's ball's exploding out of his hand today. He's that for 8 innings. You're facing a closer for 8 innings. There's a reason he does the things that he does. And James McCann said this to me, and it hurt my heart a little bit, but he's completely right. As relievers, we're like, we need to go out when we're coming in behind. If like I'm coming in right behind Jake and I have the same carry numbers. Our fastball looks the same. Mine's just minus 5 miles an hour. So he goes, Trevor, you have an elite 4-seam fastball. Like guys swing and miss your fastball all the time, but after Jake, it's average. So you have to you're just average after Jake. So you have to pitch differently. You got to do something that Jake can't do, and that's slow the ball slower than 90 miles an hour. Because guys are like, no matter who, it could be Aroldis Chapman, right? Aroldis could come in directly after Jake, and they'll be like, we got Chapman. Like that's the type of situation happening. And that if you've seen over the last 3 years of his career, like that's what happens. They're excited to face whoever nasty guys coming in after. So it's like almost like we're like, Loop, you're the guy after Jake because you're so different. And he's like, okay, like that's a real thing. And he's that good that we have to think about like, how do we keep that dugout continuously like kept down so that we finish the shutout out, right? So, but like trying to explain it, I'm like beyond trying to explain it. Like I couldn't tell. There's nothing in the weight room that I see. There's no like arm exercise he's doing. There's no like weighted ball thing that he's just found where he feels the best he could possibly feel, and he just repeats it over and over again. And he doesn't do anything extra that's going to get him out of that. That's all he cares about.
Okay. So for a guy who knows how difficult this sport is, what is it like being around the best person on the planet at what he does?
It's impressive. He's just impresses me every single day. Everything he does, from watching bullpens, swinging a bat, just like he's clutch with the bat too. Obviously, when things are going good, right? But I've never been in a situation where I need to be like, no, he's just him. Like, I'm always like, trying to grab stuff from guys. Like, I'm like, there's nothing I'm going to grab from Jake. I can't do. I have the fastball with the carry. I do that. I just can't throw as hard as him. So what am I going to get there? I'm like, we throw completely different off-speed pitches. I'm trying to slow my stuff down as much as possible, create as much difference between my fastball and stuff. And he's just like stuff, just straight up movement. Like, this is 94. It's going to move 6 feet, you're dead, right? And that's not what I'm trying to do. But one thing we do have in common, we want to punch every single person out we see all the time, which I love that. He's always like, I don't want anyone to put the ball in play. I'm like, me either. When I was a starter, that meant walks, because that was one way to guarantee no one would ever put it in play.
Congratulations.
So that's and people are like, what have you learned? I'm like, I've learned that he's way better than me. That's it. And it's just, I'm sorry. I want to tell the 12-year-olds, like, here's how you become Jake deGrom. If you're not Jake, it's probably not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Does he know how great he is right now?
Yeah, he does. And he'll every once in a while throw out like a I call this normie comment, but he'll be like, oh yeah, I get nervous before it starts. We're like, do you, Jake? Do you? Like, we know he's a human. He feels the same thing we do. Like, he's like, I really hope this one doesn't go bad. Like, you know what I mean? It just never does. But he thinks the same things because he is a human being. Right. He has doubts, right? But
hey, his doubts are that the Mets won't score enough runs.
Maybe. That whole thing is, I've been trying to be like an economist and figure out, like, okay, what are all the factors when he starts? Why is it different? And it's just like, again, he's this level. And sometimes guys just are like, okay, he's going to be the guy today. Like, no matter what we do, like, we could score 10 runs. Conforto could hit 2 homers, go 4 for 4. And if Jake throws 8 shutout innings, Jake's going to get talked about. They'll throw Michael in there, right? No matter what. So it's like one of those things, like, we have to do this because Jake's pitching. We got to take advantage. And it like becomes more pressure. We feel in the pen, we're like, we can't blow Jake's game. And the hitters are like, we got to score runs for Jake, right? And in reality, the game's the same. It should be a huge advantage, but sometimes you like feel like you need to elevate yourself up to his level, and you can't. So why? So I can feel it changing a little bit, but it's really interesting. It's like, because that's not, there's nowhere else that is.
He's fascinating. He really is unbelievable, and he has made the game so much fun. When he pitches, I'm sitting there watching for 2 reasons. I want to see if he can top what he does every time out, and I want to see if this ridiculous trend of the Mets not scoring runs continues, because it's unbelievable that the guy is 2-2 with a 0.5 ERA. It is
0.51.
I think that he actually has more hits than any everyday ball player when he pitches.
He's hitting over 500, so that makes sense.
It's ridiculous. Well, I knew he was great when he told us on Intentional Talk, one of the first times we interviewed him, that he took Chris Sale deep in college when he was at Stetson. And I think Sale might have gone to Florida Gulf Coast or one of those schools down there. And deGrom's a lefty. Like, you forget he's a lefty hitter. And I was like, wait, you took Sale deep in college? He's like, yeah. I was like, ooh, you can do everything.
Yeah.
You can do everything.
And he said, he's like, yeah. You're like,
damn, it's so good. All right. Your owner, Stephen Cohen, has been inviting players over for dinner, I read. So what did you have?
I didn't know that. I haven't been invited. No, not yet. Hopefully soon. I mean, I'm sure I can't imagine. I don't know.
Well, so what do we think the cutoff is? I mean, obviously deGrom, Lindor, Alonso. Like, how far down the roster does he go before? Yeah, I'll just give him a little wave if I see him in the tunnel or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the bullpen is going to be on the list. It's just, and that's no shade. Let me be very clear. I'm not throwing any shade there. It's just, that's the we are the special teams of baseball. So
no. You are more important than special teams. You are the offensive line, sir.
We're the O line, D line.
No, you're the offensive line, because the defensive
return
line
team.
No, not at all. Are you kidding me?
We're the kickers. We score.
Stop. You are the offensive line, because without you, we cannot win the game. But we only notice when you get called for holding.
That's true. The same with kickers. No one cares as long as you're making field goals. But if you miss one, we'll see in the media room.
Maybe I'll do that.
We'll see. Yeah, but you never notice unless you get called for holding. That's a good one too.
So why don't we make some sort of, I don't want to make it seem as though you're begging to go over to Stephen Cohen's, but wouldn't you like to go over to a guy who's worth $14.5 billion or whatever,
just to see how
right?
Yeah. Where do you live? Like,
right.
Is it an island? You know?
Well, I doubt he lives on an island right now.
Is it a country?
Unless he bought all of Manhattan, which is possible, by the way. So maybe we make a plea here. Like maybe we can get this to Mets ownership, and then I'm not going to turn it and make it into your homework assignment, but damn, it would be awesome if you could go have dinner at Steve Cohen's house.
Steve, if you ask me, I will not say no. Go Mets.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to get you out the Citi Field bullpen door.
Well, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. And again, like I said, I'm a pretty passive guy, pretty easygoing.
I hear you.
You know,
would you clean your own plates?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you a dishwasher?
I've been trained. Yes, it is the bane of my existence, and I made it. It has become my job. So it's one of those things to keep you humble. You know what I mean?
So what do you do? What do you do at home? Your wife's name is Katie, right?
Kate.
Yeah. I apologize, Kate. I mean, do you have to clean the litter box? Do you have to clean down?
I'm on litter box duty. Though she is when I'm on the road. It's so funny. She just texted me, asked me where the litter was. But so I do litter boxes and I do dishes because she enjoys cooking, and I would order out every meal in my entire life if I could. Because I'm that. And to be honest, there are down times where I enjoy. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to cook tonight. I'm going to enjoy myself. Not a generally great cook, but we can do simple stuff. But she's like, I'm going to cook. Will you do the dishes? So if she cooks, I'll do the dishes. I love when I cook, so I can just look at her and be like, there's dishes everywhere. Have fun. Even though dishes is by far the easier job.
Totally easier. It's not even close. For me, it's therapeutic.
Wet food just it's not my jam. It is a little bit therapeutic though. Throw your headphones and listen to a book before your bed. So yeah, the dishes are mine. Kitty litter's mine. Taking out the garbages and putting them out on the side of the road. Those are mine. I gotta stay on those. We have an app where we have a shared to-do list, and those are the ones I'm assigned.
You have an app?
Organized. We're a very organized family.
God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's called Todoist. It's changed my life. Chris, you should check it out.
Really? What does it make you feel at the end of the day? Just more organized? Feel like you accomplished something? Because I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do another list.
Everything. I'm a list guy though. Everything you check off, if you check off all the boxes, nothing better. And we've set lines, like if anything's left on there at set that doesn't need to be like turned in that day, or like an email sent or something by 7 p.m. It's next day's problem. We just shut it down. Wow. She no longer has her day job, and she helps me do a lot of my off the field things now. So we have very interesting. We're finding like that sweet spot where, okay, this time's hit. We're not talking about it anymore. Let's just watch our Netflix show.
Does it cause any arguments?
Not yet. It's only been a few weeks. We've only had our two main meetings where we broke down everything for a week, and we're just now getting the swing of things. But I think we'll be all right.
Okay. I want to let everybody know that this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Now, we all have to admit, it's been a hell of the last 12 to 14 months out there. Everybody's feeling a little down in the dumps. It's been really strange out there. Well, guess what, guys? It's time to snap back into action, especially in the bedroom. So let's do that with Blue Chew. It's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but they're a chewable form and they're delivered right to your door. Now, Blue Chew tablets, they help men with all forms of ED out there. And as I said, it is an online prescription service. So that means you don't have to go into the doctor, don't have to have those embarrassing conversations, no awkward waiting in line at the pharmacy. It is delivered right to your door. Now, Blue Chew's licensed medical providers will actually work with you to find the perfect ingredients for you. And one other thing I love about this, it's chewable. I'm not going to blame my parents here, but I never learned how to swallow pills as a kid. So here I am, a 50-year-old man, and I'm chewing medicine all the time. That's perfect because this thing is called Blue Chew. So it's going to work great for you. So if you need that benefit and that little jolt of confidence in your life, Visit BlueChew.com and also use the promo code ROSE at checkout. You'll just pay $5 for shipping. That is BlueChew.com, promo code ROSE to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast as well. I do want to get into one of your areas of expertise. Did you see the Jesus Luzardo story?
Yes.
Okay. So for those people that aren't familiar with it, here is manager Bob Melvin with Jesus Luzardo.
So before the game, he was playing a video game and accidentally bumped his hand on the desk as he was playing the game. He came in, was a little bit sore. Training staff checked him out. We threw him in the cage before he went out there. Watched him warmed up. He was comfortable pitching. Training staff was comfortable with him pitching. After the game, we got an x-ray, and there was a hairline in the pinky finger.
He seems so happy. He's like, just read it. Just read it off the paper. Just read the stupid thing I have to say.
Okay. What do you think happened?
Okay, first of all, before I answer that, we need to Jesus, we got to lie, man. We got to stop attaching injuries to video games, because I understand he probably slammed to death. I know for a fact that Jesus plays with the controller, which if you can avoid it, guys, controllers are actually horrible for your hands and for ergonomics and for everything. Like when Zumaya did the thing with the getting his hand in this
Joel
position.
Zumaya, right.
Yeah, and David Price is playing with a controller. No one on mouse and keyboard, no one using their mouse to aim has ever come up with an injury yet to this point. I've been doing this for years and I've never even sore. So I just switch. But what happened was something happened. He had the controller and he probably just like come on, really quickly hit his desk and just hit it wrong, because you know how the hands are, and you can just accordion your joints there, which is probably what happened. And then you also have the video of him talking about it in the dugout, correct? And he shows how he jammed it up against here it is, jammed it up against the desk, like that. And he probably just died or something, and in Call of Duty, and just gave it like a jam. It was like, oh, I did not feel good. And here we are.
Happened to you?
That is throwing. I throw stuff.
Oh,
that's my. I'll just find the bed, just chuck something into a pillow. But again, or not like full even arm, more like overhead, or I think medicine ball slams, right? But to be honest, I'm so business-like about playing video games now that I can't be bothered to even get ragey. I used to rage. I used to have some frustration issues, but now it's more.
Okay, so wait, hold on here. I want to get to that. Was this while you were married? Would your wife be like, "What the heck? Why are you screaming?"
She'd be on calls for work and be like, Trevor, he's just streaming. He's just putting on a show, and I'm like, "Come on, go on!" You can hear me in the other room. So there was times where I had to be like, she'd walk, poke her in. I'm on a meeting for the next hour. I'm like, okay, I'll try to be quiet. And then I would forget 5 minutes later, just start screaming again.
That's the sort of stuff that would drive me nuts with my two sons, right?
Yeah.
The older one really had a temper for a while playing video games. And I would go in there, I'd be trying to sleep. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I would walk in there and I said, Josh, I'm going to rip that shit out of the wall if you do not tone it down. I said, it's fine that you're playing with your friends, but fucking stop it. Yeah. Your mom and I are trying to sleep. I got to work in the morning. I mean, now the good news is I don't really have to work in the morning, so he can stay up all night, but that's a different issue. And I was like, just have some goddamn respect for us, please.
Yeah. Yeah. When my kids are playing games, wherever our game room is going to be literally as far away from any sort of sleeping situation as humanly possible. I have so much experience in that. My dad was shift worker, four days, 4 nights, 4 days off, 4 night days. So he would be asleep in the middle of the day all the time. We did not live in a big house, and just walking up the stairs, he'd be like, "Stop walking up the stairs." I'm like, I gotta go upstairs because I was just so big and just lumbering up the stairs. But I could not play video games in my house with my dad, and he's the same way. He was easily frustrated when he was young too. So I think we might have a little bit of family ADD running. But I got it from him, and then I'm a light sleeper, and guys wake me up, I lose it. The minors were not fun for me.
Oh, God. Good luck with that. All right, let's hit some quick hitters here.
Cool.
Mike Trout just completed the best month of his already future Hall of Fame career. You haven't faced him a lot. I think 0 for 2, a couple of walks. What do you most appreciate about Mike Trout?
He's like Jake, man. He just does it. And there's no like throwing in your face. He just does it so quietly. And what I appreciate, he's very much about, in the words of Marshawn Lynch, he's about that action boss. So, and that's not to say that the other way
taking
is
care of his
bad.
chickens too. Trev?
He's taking care of his chickens. He's getting them more than he's getting got though. So, he's impressive. He knows he is here and everyone else is here. And he doesn't like lord that over anybody. He just goes out and does his job and tries to get his team to win. And, but my God, he's just like, he had an ex-teammate. I cannot remember who it was. He was with the Twins for like one spring training. And he told us that one day he asked Mike, because they were good friends. He's like, bro, how do you do it? And he goes, every level, I was told that how you adjust is game speeds up and then you make adjustments. He goes, since I've been a professional, the game has never sped up. That's what he said. He goes, it's just slower for me. And I don't know. I just never had that experience. He's like, I just never struggled in any real way to where I was overwhelmed.
Amazing.
And I'm like, okay, that's you. There's no one else can do that.
One day, if you have kids and they're asking you when they're 15, like, who is it that you really love, like that you played against that you want to tell us about? He's going to be the first name out of your mouth.
100%.
It's going to be. It's not even close.
Yep. Him and Byron Buxton.
He's putting it together finally.
Yes.
Good for him. You can buy stock or Bitcoin or whatever you want in either Ronald Acuna or Fernando Tatis Jr., but not both. Who are you investing in?
I'm going to say Fernando Tatis for 2 reasons. So first off, he's a shortstop. And shortstops are just, from the moment you are old enough to play shortstop, it's just, you assume your shortstop is your best player all the way through. He's the most athletic. He's the captain. And Derek Jeter went and just solidified kind of that role for shortstops. Frankie Lindor is probably the leader on our team now, and kind of the pilot of the defense. And so that there's a lot to do with that. And with a team being successful, if your shortstop's really good, your team's generally pretty good. So I'll go with that. And then 2, just in terms of like how the kid is marketing, and not that Acuna isn't marketing himself, but it's in a little bit of a different way. Fernando's hitting. He is fully taking advantage of where he's at in his life and his career and the opportunities that he has. And from a off the field standpoint, in my mind, I love when guys, because I'm very invested in the future of the game of baseball. I'm very invested in the entertainment value, and he is giving everyone everything they want, and he is leaning into it in a really, really good way. Because I don't think he is up over the top. I don't think he's picking and choosing his spots to like put a little flavor and stuff. It's not like all the time, right? And that's to me, my sensibilities. I'm like, I just love. You just love watching him play. In the words of Trevor Plouffe, fellow Jomboy media member, I just love watching him play. He's just fun to watch play.
He is fun to watch.
Acuna isn't. Now Acuna's in my division too, so I just can't say that fully.
He's really good though, man. God,
they're both going to be really good players for a very long time.
Yeah. Okay, I want your opinion on the extra inning rule as a reliever.
Oh, it sucks.
Oh God, I knew we were going to disagree on this.
Okay, let me I'll give you some context. I always do. It's great for speeding up the game.
Yeah,
it does save a lot of arms long term. Mm-hmm. No one's going up having to pitch, the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, and they get sent down the next day. Not even though they threw really well. That's going to be minimized. So guys are going to get more opportunities to be in the big leagues. That's huge for me. I love that. I'm glad that they get that. But anytime there's just a guy they're like, hey, we're just gonna make your job just like harder, for the sake of baseball. And whenever we're getting chance, we're like, how can we improve the game? Let's just make the relievers do something. So that's kind of what we're doing. And I'm one of those guys. You got to fight. You got to fight for your boys. And guys, they're just going to keep doing. They're going to keep dunking on us, and we're just going to have to keep wearing it, just like our whole careers are and our whole lives are. And just wear it. If you don't like it, play better. Be a starter. That's we're all failed starters, and this is what happens. You have to deal with more bullshit. And having a guy on second is so dumb, but it's the way the game is now. And I don't be surprised at all if it never goes away. It's there forever.
I would agree with you. And can I tell you why I like it?
Sure.
Because it's like an anti-bet in poker. It forces the action. And to me, it's where we see the most strategy in a game.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the road, okay, I'm not going to bunt the guy over because I just can't afford to. I don't want to give up an out here. Or do I? Maybe this is the first time. I'm not a huge bunting guy, but I think that in that particular situation, runner on second, nobody out, it might call for it. And then if, I love it when in the 10th inning, neither team scores. I'm like, how did neither team score? You both had a guy at second base, and particularly the home team.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, like, that is such a check mark on a reliever who comes in, runner on second, nobody out, and you wiggled out of that. Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'd be like, okay, we don't like it, but what's the alternative? And like, we've thrown out, like, put a guy on first, make him have to steal a base or something, or so that 2 sack flies can't score the run. Like that's the, like you give up a semi shallow fly into right field. The guy on second's like, Acuna, and your right fielder comes running in and catches it and on the run, and Acuna still gets the third. You're just like, what am I? So whoever has Gore now, I believe it's the Braves. They just put him on second in the 10th. You're like, this guy's going to steal home. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't keep him from going to third. There's nothing I can do. I could sit here and just pause and look at him. He'll still do it. So that's frustrating when the advantage is so much in that side, but it's rarely there. Like, I had McCutchen earlier, and he still runs pretty good, right? He's going to score on a normal single. So I'm in my head, I'm like, who are we kidding? Every single time I go out there, I'm trying to strike everyone else. So, God, in second, I like to lie about it a little bit. I hate it, but I relish that situation. I got to leave that guy here. I'm just going to punch 3 guys out so no one moves. And that's one way to do it. That's my favorite way, because that way nothing can go wrong. But like, honestly, putting a guy on first, but I hear you with the guy putting a guy on second, that tension, that like, oh, it's just immediate. Right. And it's fun to watch from the first pitch. Guy on first, it would be like, okay, we got something going, but we're not quite there yet. So that's probably the way it needs to be.
Yeah. Listen, I understand it. And I'm even okay with like playing an extra inning, like the 10th inning regular, and then going to do it in the 11th. Like, I still think it's a work in progress, but I don't hate it the way that a lot of people are so venomous, particularly on social media.
I think you might be on right there. I think maybe just the 10th doing one, because that's when you got the closer and the still. And then when you start to get in the guys who need to eat innings or whatever, like the guys who aren't necessarily high leverage guys, it'd be really interesting to start seeing them get opportunities there too. As a reliever, I love that. Okay,
2 other quick things. Did you see your old teammate William Astudillo pitch?
The walking meme? Yep. I did.
And what did we think?
The fact that he was out there trying to slow the ball down as much as humanly possible, loved it. I mean, it wasn't close to as cool as watching Rizzo pitch to Freddie, but it was pretty cool. I mean, he doesn't care, man. He's having a blast. He's like, I'll hit, I'll play third, I'll play left, I'll catch, I'll play first, whatever. I'll do whatever you want me to do. And I'll act like I'm not happy about it, but I'm secretly just love my persona. I love that everyone loves me.
Last one. I'm not sure if you saw this, but with the Blue Jays playing down in Florida, there was a kid wearing a Bo Bichette jersey in center field who actually caught a Bo Bichette home run while videoing it.
While recording.
Is that's unbelievable?
Did that ricochet into his glove? Like, did he get it off the hop?
I don't know. Tell. It's hard to tell, but I think
he might have just turned the camera as he was trying to catch. He wasn't like tracking the ball. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
That's a couple crazy things happened. Bo, didn't he hit a home run like in front of the bar where his mom met his dad or something
yes,
too?
exactly.
Earlier?
In Boston. It was like it was either a bar or a gym. It might have been
Or
a
gym or something.
Yeah.
Where they met. That's crazy. Like I guess Bo Bichette's he's living a little bit of a magic life too. Like a lot of like Joe Mauer style like events are happening to him, like when he had twins for his first children. Like
right.
What?
Of course.
Stuff like that.
Of course he did.
Storybook lives. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Good for that kid.
My question is, as a, I know that you grew up a few hours from Seattle, but did you ever catch either a foul ball or a home run or anything as a kid? Did you ever come close?
I never did. I think I ran down a home run. I never caught one. I ran down a homer, and it might have been, honestly, I don't think it was a big league game. I think it might have been a Tacoma Rainiers game. We went to a few of those too, in Cheney. And but we have one foul ball as a family. I was there, but I was in the bathroom when this happened. And guess where it was? My dad caught a foul ball in Shea Stadium.
No.
Yeah.
Who hit it?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
I wasn't. He didn't even tell me. He's like, "Hey, I got a foul." He had a foul ball and a T-shirt. He got one of the T-shirts out of the T-shirt can and the foul ball in the inning, or like it was. I was just went to get concessions with my mom, so he's like, "Oh, I'm good. I'll just stay here." And we were with some family friends too, so there was a big group of us, probably 8 of us. And I just came back, and he had a T-shirt and a foul ball for me. I was 11.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was.
It's a hell of a piss break, by the way.
Yeah, that was like July of 2001.
What were you doing on the East Coast?
My sister went to University of Delaware, so we went out and visited her, and then did like a tour of a bunch of ballparks. So we went to Fenway. We went to we didn't go to Yankee Stadium because those tickets were super expensive. So we went to Shea, and we went to Baltimore. It's funny. So we worked our way down. We went to New York City down, and then I wore my Mets hat to the Baltimore game just because I had a Mets hat on. Like I didn't even have I wasn't wearing Mariner stuff. Like that didn't make any sense. And the Oriole, I was waiting trying to get autographs, and the Oriole took my hat off and threw it into the stands. I'm like 11, and I'm wearing a Mets hat, and you're the Orioles. Who cares? You don't hate the Mets,
right?
You
they're still pissed off about 69.
I guess. I was like, I didn't even get it. I was like, that was really embarrassing. I'll never forget that. Having the Oriole take my hat off, and he didn't like toss it. He like just threw it into a bunch of empty seats. I'm like, what? That was really mean to do to an 11-year-old. Joking around and like acting like you're gonna throw it. Yeah, but like actually yucking it to somebody else, some random person I gotta go get it from.
That is hilarious. Was this the sister that almost became Mrs. Ben Davis?
No, that's the older sister. This is the younger sister.
Okay.
She was a softball player. She was there with Joe Flacco, the pride of University of Delaware.
Very good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
By the way, what'd your sister think of you telling that story on here? Did she?
I don't even think she knows yet.
Okay.
But hey, she's got. She don't get it twisted up. She's probably pretty. She'll her current I want to say her current husband. Her husband,
yes,
Richard. She'll just be like, yeah, I could have had a professional baseball player, and I chose you. And he's English, and he doesn't even understand. So it's funny. We make fun of him a lot. It's fine.
So I'm 50 years old. I've been to gazillion games as a fan, and I have never caught a foul ball nor a home run. I have come this close twice.
Really?
Once I was at Andrew Reel's first grade birthday party, sitting in between home and first, Old Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Paul Molitor pops one up, and the guy in front of me snags it. And he put it in like one of those fake plastic helmets back in the day, and he kept it under his seat the whole time. And I kept staring at it. I was like, do you think he'll notice if I steal it and we leave early, maybe? So I just missed out on that Hall of Famer. The other one was Cal Ripken Jr. Hit a rocket shot. I was with my boys in left center field. I'm a teenager. And Old Cleveland used to have these small auxiliary scoreboards because remember, it was for the Cleveland Browns and the Indians.
Yeah.
So these crappy little scoreboards. And there was so much space in between the fence and where the fans could sit in some places. So he hit a rocket shot. I run over and I get my hands in position. It one hops, it comes up and it hits the auxiliary scoreboard right in front. This little old man comes waddling over. He's probably 60, picks up the ball. It's like, can I have the ball? He's like, you see up there, and he points to the press box. He goes, my boss is watching me, and it's going to cost me $8 out of my pocket if I give you the ball. I was like, here's a 20, dude. I just want the frickin' ball from Cal Ripken Jr. He's like, sorry, I have to turn it in. And he waddled away.
Turn it in?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
is this?
Well, the Indians sucked back then, so they're probably going to use it for BP the next day.
Yeah, probably.
Like, you jerk. Unbelievable. All right, let's spin the wheel of moderately interesting things. See how we do. We've got Get Up Here, E-Tail, Paper Trail, Double Play, and Job Fair. I don't know what that thing is.
Don't know what any of those things mean. Let's find out.
Find out.
Put yourself in the face. There we go.
Oh, God, that was unreal. Paper Trail. When you got your first big-time check, whether that was a signing bonus or when you got decent cash, what was the first thing you bought?
Turntables. That was my big league purchase. I always tell someone to do that. Every rookie, I'm like, hey, have you gotten your first check yet? Buy something frivolous now. I don't care if it's $200. Like, right? Go buy a new PS5 or something. Just buy something and be like, yo, I'm in the big leagues. I can just buy things. Don't do it all the time. Just do it once. And I said, hey, I'll wait till the end of the year because it wasn't like $200. Like these turntables were like $6,000. So, but I was like,
Jesus.
The beauty is, I bought them 7 years ago. They're still worth $6,000. So they hold their value really well.
They really? So it's not like a car when you drive it off the lot; it's already depreciating.
No. The people buy these things used constantly, so they hold their value really, really well. Especially the longer you keep them. Anyway, so I was like, I'm buying the industry standard, what they have in every club, so that I can train at home, and I just got to bring a thumb drive when I go play out. And of course, I stopped DJing like literally 2 months after that. But I'll never forget the day they arrived. Huge boxes, like so heavy. This is probably 90 to 100 pounds worth of stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I told my then girlfriend, now wife, hey, that door's closed. Don't even touch it because I'm not doing anything you want me to do. I'm playing with these all day. And it was. I'm going to be honest. I lived it up. I enjoyed every single moment. Set up, figure it out, get it going. And I played with those for weeks, for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
What a great toy. And it actually takes us to our homework assignment, which was, what was your DJ name back in the day?
It was DJ Haybeef at the beginning. We have murdered that name. That name is no longer, and now it's Trevor May, and I'm just keeping it there, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. So you had to get us a picture and some video. So let's check out the video of you as DJ Haybeef.
This is at Reading, by the way. Show the crowd.
Oh my God. So
there they are.
So this is while you're pitching in what, Double-A or something?
That's in Double-A. That's in Reading, Pennsylvania in 2012. They even paid me.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it felt like I was doing a high school dance. Like it was.
Dude, look at you. You've got this like little baby face. You are like living up Haybeef.
22. 22 years old.
You had
there's Adam Briscoe. He's famous in Reading. The Briscoe Disco. That's what they do after every win. He's still there doing it. But someone's one of our guys that covered the team just got this video, and it's on the internet for perpetuity. We did have that. Yeah, we had the cool picture. That's actually that's a professional photo from a professional DJ photographer, and I was opening for a big. I mean, I wouldn't say big, but I was opening for somebody at a club, and that was the other one I got. Cool thing is,
retired?
I just came out of retirement. I was going to make the announcement here. We ordered a brand new set of turntables for the Mets clubhouse, and I will be doing some pregame stuff. Unfortunately, their postgame parties are going to be tough because I'm in the bullpen, so I either pitch and I'm there, or if I don't pitch, I got to walk down from the pen, so I'll be like 10 minutes later than everybody else, and so that'll just kill the vibe. So Marcus Stroman's going to take over, to get us going. So we're working on getting the smoke machines. We did this in 2015 with the Twins when I was a starter still. Then when I got a reliever, kind of died, for the reason I just said. But I got a new set. He goes, I posted a picture, that picture, and I said, hey, I was a DJ. I posted on Twitter, and Strom was like, what? What are you doing? Why are we not doing this in the clubhouse? I'm like, just say the word, dude, and I'll buy some. I'll just buy some new ones. He's like, let's do it. So I just Amazon, boom, it's gonna be in the clubhouse when we get back from this road trip. We'll get pictures and video and show you guys all what the setup looks like.
Please do. That is, but it sounds like a competition between you and Stro.
Stroh's met around. He's dabbled in making beats, and he said he hasn't DJ'd much really at all. But he's like, I would love to learn some really like simple mixing techniques so that we can get some playlists going. And he goes, I'm like, dude, I want tons of country. I want us trying to put crazy weird stuff together and have fun with it. And because we got a little downtime now that pitchers don't shag BP. So, but exciting. We got a lot of different music tastes, and we sometimes get into a genre and then don't get out of it for hours. So maybe if someone's controlling it, like thinking flow and having a little fun with it, that we'll be able to mix it up a little bit. We need to.
That's going to be awesome.
Only so much Bad Bunny you can take.
This is going to be great. I love it. So we'll have that video next time you're on. And in addition, your homework assignment, I noticed that you have a couple of off days next week. And my guess is that Mr. May might be streaming a bit.
Yep.
I've seen you play MLB The Show. I am curious, are you able to make Trevor May face Trevor May?
Fake me. Or you mean if I played, but if I made me bat, if I played like Mets versus Mets, yeah, I could do that.
Ooh, I want to see how that goes.
I don't even know what my batting stats are. I bet you they are horrible. Jake's are pretty good. Jake's actually he's a below average hitter, right? But like they actually like put some thought into it. All the other ones are like 9, 12, like 6 speed, like whatever. It's funny though. I am like 15 speed points faster than Nelly Cruz, which is hilarious to me. Which isn't true. He's faster than me.
I want to see if you can. I really want to see if you can, take him deep. Yeah.
Okay. I will replay it over and over again until something good happens. It'll put it on easy. I don't know if there's a T mode. Yeah. We'll try.
And you can record all this, right?
We'll start off the stream with it. We'll get some live footage for it. And then I'll even shout it out. Shout out the show.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Did you get your Rose Rotation shirt yet? Are you one of the 3 that actually turned in your address?
No.
Oh,
is there a DM somewhere? Was this a text message?
It might have been. Might have been on your Instagram DM.
Oh, well, if it's an Instagram DM, those haven't been looked at since opening day. So that could be it.
Listen, man, it was great catching up with you. I do greatly appreciate you being an early riser there in St. Louis. I know it was not easy. And gosh, this was good stuff, man.
Fun.
Made me laugh.
As always.
Cry a little bit. Wow. Always fun. So continued health, good health, continued success. You've been killing it. I don't want to say too much. Just keep doing your thing. It's been fun watching Trevor May get out there.
I will. Thank you.
And a big shout out to our DJ, our Mixmaster General, Robbie Scirocco, always putting it together. Way to go, Robbie. We will see you next time on the Chris Rose Rotation, a presentation of Jomboy Media.